a different one because it was requested by a lovely lady called Jane. So shout out to you, Jane. Thank you very much for sending me this recipe. So basically the recipe was a traditional recipe that you would use your oven, your hob, etc. to be able to make it. And she asked me, would I be able to see what I could do and could I make the recipe into something that was suitable for the Ninja Foodi? And of course I have done my best and we have managed to make an absolutely delicious dish. So this one is salmon and rice with a coconut and tomato sauce. It's got a nice little kick to it. It's got loads and loads of flavour. And of course, I've made it as simple as possible for you to make in the Ninja Foodi. So I really hope you do enjoy this recipe. If you do, remember to hit that like button for me. And if you're new here and you've not yet been onto the channel, then my name is Susannah and we make everything in the Ninja Foodi here. So why not hit that subscribe button below, turn on the notification bell, and that way YouTube will also let you know when I upload a video. The last thing I want to mention before we dive in and start cooking is if you've not been over on my website yet, then go and check it out. All my recipes are printable over there. It's www.susannaskitchen.uk, and you can also order a copy of my cookbook. That's everything I need to tell you, so let's go and make this delicious salmon and rice with the coconut and tomato sauce. This recipe was actually requested by a lady that follows me called Jane Smith. So hi Jane. And this was a recipe that she had seen and asked me if I could adapt it and make it work for the Ninja. So it's not identical, but it's pretty close. So in here I've got my washed rice and then double quantity of coconut milk to the amount of rice that you're using. So you can make this really for as many people as you want to. Just give that a little swirl around, get that rice covered. I'm using jasmine rice for this. And then I want to juice about a quarter to a half a lime, probably gonna go with a half. And then just add that lime juice in as well. So that is our rice done. I think it fits on if I don't have the lid. Yes, without the lid it fits on. So we'll leave the lid off. We're going to have this foil over the top anyway, which is containing the salmon. So now let's flavour our salmon ready for cooking. So I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil. Just using some spray olive oil. You can drizzle it on, whatever you want to do. Now we need some honey. I want about half a tablespoon of honey over the salmon there. Around a quarter of a lime juiced. Now for some paprika. I'm going to put half a teaspoon. Just sprinkling all of these. Next thing is a quarter of a teaspoon of ground coriander. And another quarter of a teaspoon of ground cumin. Oh, it's going to taste lovely. And then also a little bit of salt over the top. Now all we're going to do is make a little parcel with our salmon. So just fold in the sides and the edges until that is nicely sealed. As always with pressure cooking, you need a minimum of 250 mils of water in the bottom. Then we can lower over our rice and our salmon. Now this recipe does have a sauce and we're actually going to be making the sauce at the end. I'm going to get the lid down. Let's get some to pressure cook. Make sure your pressure valve is turned towards the back, which is on seal. And now switch over to pressure cook. And we want to cook this on high with a natural release and 4 minutes. The natural release has been running for 10 minutes and I've just literally flicked the pressure valve over to vent. It probably wouldn't have taken too much longer, but I just don't want things to overcook in there. So I thought it was best to do that. Now all the pressure has been relieved. It should tell me any second now, there you go, that I can open up. So let's open that up and let some of that very hot steam come out. And now we can remove this and start making our sauce. Oh, that's hot. Just be really careful when you take this out. We're on sear and saute, so we want a little bit of spray oil in the bottom. And straight away we can go in with around half an onion. Into the onion we can also add a little bit of red chilli and some salt. So that was about half a red chilli. Depending on how spicy you like it, you can add more if you wish to, or of course you can totally leave it out. As soon as you're starting to get a little bit of colour on your onion, then put your garlic in. That is 3 cloves of garlic. Again, you can use less if you want to. And we only really want to cook this garlic for around a minute. Keep moving it, you don't want to burn it. So turn down the heat on the sear and saute. So I was on 4, now I've turned down to 3. Next ingredients are all in here. So I've got 25 grams of tomato puree, 1/4 teaspoon of cardamom, we've got 1/4 teaspoon of cumin, 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, and another 1/2 teaspoon of ground coriander. So let's scrape all of that goodness into our pot. It smells so nice. So again, don't want to cook this off for too long. We don't want anything to burn. So probably 30 seconds or so in there. And then straight in with our coconut milk, and that is the other half of the can that we used earlier. So another 200 mils. And now just stir all of this together. And this is going to create our beautiful tomato coconut sauce to go with that salmon and rice. Now the salmon is in foil, so that is staying nice and warm. The rice is covered with foil, so again that's going to stay warm, and this really doesn't take very long to quickly do this. So you just want to simmer this until you get the consistency that you desire. So until it's a sauce. At the moment it's a little bit too liquid, but that really isn't going to take very long. I would say probably 4 minutes, 5 minutes max. So the rice is lovely and sticky. If you prefer to use basmati, then you wouldn't get such a sticky rice. I've let this sit for a while under foil. I think you probably could have used a little bit less coconut milk, but it is lovely and rich. So there's my salmon served up. As you saw, I cooked my pieces of salmon whole, but definitely you could take the skin off and cook them in chunks if you prefer to do it that way. And look at that absolutely beautiful sauce to go with this. So nice. It smells incredible and tastes just as good. Thank you very much for suggesting this recipe, Jane. This looks amazing. So there it is. All made using the Ninja Foodi. We've got that absolutely delicious tomato and coconut sauce with our sticky coconut rice and salmon.